Hi, so today we are going to be talking about verb, and verb can be an infinitive or an ing form. So what is an ing form? An ing form can behave like an adjective. The news is depressing. A gerund, running is good for health. Or a present participle as part of the continuous form of the verb. He is experiencing pain. Okay, so now what is a gerund? Well, gerunds are words that are formed with verb, but they can act as noun. Every gerund ends in ing. We can also use gerund after a preposition. For example, I'm tired of working. Or a subject or object of the sentence, running is good for health. Or as a complement of the verb to be. For example, the hardest thing about learning English is understanding the gerund. So understanding here is the gerund. Or it can come after a certain verb, like I enjoy hiking. And we'll talk more about these rules later. So here are some rules for changing verb into a gerund form. So let's look at some of the rules. If the verb ends in y, we add ing. If a verb ends in ye, we remove the ye and add ing. And if the verb ends in ye, we add ing. And if the verb ends in ie, we change it to ying. And if a verb ends in a consonant plus vowel plus consonant, we double the final consonant. But we do not double the final consonant when the verb ends in w, x, or y, or when the final syllable is not emphasized. So what about infinitive? When we use the word to before a verb in a sentence, we are using an infinitive verb form. We use an infinitive after adjective. An infinitive can also be used as a subject, object, or complement of a sentence. For example, 1. It is difficult to understand. Difficult is the adjective. To understand is the infinitive. 2. To travel is exciting. Here, the infinitive is to travel, and it also acts as a subject. 3. Henry wants to study English. To study here is the infinitive, and it acts as the object of a sentence. 4. He wants a better job to earn more money. So now here, the infinitive acts as the complement of a sentence. We use the infinitive with to for the purpose. The purpose is to explain a reason for doing something. Now let's look at the 6 different rules when it comes to using infinitive in the ing form. Let's take a look at rule number 1. Here, in rule number 1, we're using the verb as a subject or object of the sentence. There are 2 examples. First, needing help is not a sign of weakness. Here, the verb needing in an ing form is used as the subject of the sentence. Second, there's no crying in baseball. Here, the verb crying is in an ing form and is used as the object of the sentence, and they function as a noun. Now let's take a look at rule number 2. When a verb follows a preposition, we use an ing form. Let's look at an example. The purpose of using an alias is to conceal one's identity. Of is the preposition, and using is the ing form, because we use a gerund after a preposition. Let's take a look at rule number 3. In rule number 3, we use an ing form as an adjective. Let's look at an example. He is the most boring person in the world. Here, we're using boring as an adjective, and it is in an ing form. Rule number 4. We use the infinitive with to because we want to explain the purpose or reason for something. For example, you can use your smartphone to lock or unlock the car. The purpose of using your smartphone in this case is to lock or unlock the car. Rule number 5. We also use the ing form to make continuous tense. For example, 1. She is reading a book. 2. She was reading a book. And 3. She has been reading a book. Sentence 1 is in the present continuous tense, and sentence 2 is in the past continuous tense, and sentence 3 is in the present perfect continuous tense. Rule number 6. Both ing form or infinitive with to can follow verb with no preposition. There are no rules for which form goes after which verb. It's just the way it is, so you will have to memorize them. Here are some examples. Verb that are followed by ing. I enjoy trying new things. Enjoy is the verb. I love swimming. Love is the verb. And verb that are followed by an infinitive with to, for example, is this app allows you to learn English. Allow is the verb. I choose to believe in miracles. Choose is the verb. Are you ready to do some practice now? Let's look at the following sentences and identify the rule for each sentence. Which rule does sentence 1 apply to? If you guess rule 1, where we use the verb as the subject of the sentence, and where the verb functions as a noun, and that's why it's a gerund, you are correct. Which rule does sentence 2 apply to? If you guess rule 6, because some verbs are always followed by an infinitive with to, you are correct. Which rule does sentence 3 apply to? If you guess rule 5, where we use ing form to make a continuous tense, you are correct. Which rule does sentence 4 apply to? If you guess rule 2, where a verb follows a preposition, you are correct. Which rule does sentence 5 apply to? If you guess rule 3, where we use ing form as an adjective, you are correct. Which rule does sentence 6 apply to? If you guess rule 4, where we use the infinitive with to because we want to explain the purpose or reason for doing something, you are correct. And finally, which rule does sentence 7 apply to? If you guess rule 6, because some verbs are always followed by ing, you are correct. Well, that's all for the class today. I will see you next time. Bye.